In the Hotepish with your host, Dwwann B. Intelligent ish talk, intelligent shit talk, where we balance the profound with the profane. Political satire, celebrity and expert guests, information and entertainment, conversation and solutions. Leave your feelings at the door.
What up, y'all? Yeah, we are here. I saw that comment in the chat room, Larry. I saw that. Won't say it to my face, though. Won't say it to my face. That's the wrong screen. Let me go back to where I need to be. Yeah, we are here. We are talking about the face of terrorism. The real face of terrorism. But before we get started, take a listen to our sponsor, King Simon, the dopest numerologist on the planet.
The Cosmic Alignment Workshop, Sunday, May the 15th. That's Sunday, May the 15th, featuring King Simon, the Numeral Vader. And don't forget, the one, the only, Coach Helen, spiritual business and Zen bar owner, with Blue Pillar 44, the 44 resonator, alongside the one, the only, Ellison Nedra, the modern day sage. All happening at the Cosmic Alignment Workshop on May the 15th. Go get your tickets right now at zenbar.org. That's www.zenbar.org. That's right, it's the Cosmic Alignment Workshop on May the 15th. And don't forget, we'll be going to Delaware.
Yeah, King Simon. I want y'all, like I said before, man, when it come down to it, you want a reading on your path for the next year or so and see what's up. All that is in the numbers. Text King Simon 347-496-1022. Text him your name and date of birth. Tell him I sent you. You will get a special rate. And even though this isn't part of the ad, let me say this for myself. Buy his book. He got 2 dope books out right now. I read them both. Because I was like, 4 or 5 years ago, I was like, man, no damn I was like, man, what the hell is this numerology, man? Please. You made me in 2016. I'm like, man, get out my face with that. But his books and also his consultation is what changed my mind. I was like, damn, how you know that about me? That happened in the 9th grade. How'd you know? That's how good King Simon is at what he do. I might need to hit him up and see if there's any numbers for this terrorist thing that happened yesterday in Buffalo. Y'all see what happened? For those of you who don't know, there was a mass shooting by a typical mass shooter in Buffalo, New York. Homer Rick James. We're busting out on this L7 square. Freaks like you and I can never fall down. I'm sorry, I can't sing, but every time I hear Buffalo, I think Rick James, and the spirit of Rick James gets running through my bones. Yeah. Do, 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 do. You and I, we fit together like the 6 is 9. That's right. Don't you know? I love music. Man, I'm sorry. I'm gonna do a instance and ashtrays on Rick James pretty soon. Just on Rick James. I got to. Peace and be one to everybody in here. And tonight I will be breaking down the Kendrick's new album. I will be breaking that down tonight. I'm gonna talk about what I like and what I don't like. I'm a break down some of the meaning behind some of the things that he said. And I'm gonna break down some concerns I have about some of the things that was said, and I'm like, ooh, some of these themes you hit on, Kendrick, is like, it's a great album, but some of the stuff is like, ooh, I hope they didn't get to you, brother. But we're gonna break that part down tonight on Incense and Ashtrays. So subscribe now on Mixcloud. But so I want to start off by saying, before I get all the way into it, thank you everybody for joining. Thank you everybody in the chat room for being here. I appreciate y'all for listening. I'm not going to have y'all here all day because it's my niece's birthday. And it's 11:11 right now, one of my favorite times of the day. Hit up King Simon to find out what that means. You dig? But, yeah, there are certain things going on, that we're going to talk about. But we talking about this Buffalo, New York shooting. Rest in peace to the victims. For those of you who don't know, there was a white man, the dude you see on camera right here. Yes, he was white. His name was Peyton Gendron. Excuse me. I haven't taken the time to figure out how to properly pronounce his last name, because it doesn't matter how his name is pronounced. He's gonna rot in jail. He should be rotting in hell right now, but New York don't allow them things on people like that. So rest in peace to the victims. I'm not gonna go too deep into the aspects of the case. For that, I'm sure Professor Black Truth is gonna drop a video later on today that's going to break down the details of the case with surgical precision. So if you don't subscribe to Professor Black Truth, subscribe to his channel. I'm sure he's going to have surgical precision on the details of this case. And I'm sure our brother Jason Black, later on tonight on the Black channel, I'm sure he's also going to have surgical precision if he talks about this thing today. But if he doesn't, that means knowing him, he's probably going to talk about it on Saturday, which means he'll really have some deep details. So if you want surgical precision on the details front, back, to the side, and all around on the case, I encourage you to subscribe to those people's channels, and they're going to do something in a level of detail that I don't. All right? My point of view is a little bit different. I believe in we all got space in this thing. We all got our own different gifts in the new black media. We all got our own, and that's something that's probably the first time I've ever called myself that, because that's something that during New Black Media Appreciation Month, salute to Great Black Sharp, Deep Impressions, BB, people like y'all, you guys call me New Black Media. So I'm like, hey, if y'all call me that, I remember seeing some of y'all names in the chat. I've always been in everybody's YouTube channel, but I'm never talking in a chat room. So some of y'all, I've been seeing y'all names in the chat rooms of these channels for years. Yeah, I just never said anything. So I've just never been one to chat. So while someone is talking, except for every now and again. But since y'all call me that, I'll accept it. I'm not gonna reject it if that's from you guys' point of view. But yeah, brother, Professor Black Truth and Jason Black, they got breakdown skills that, man, I wouldn't even try to step on. I wouldn't even try to act like, I'm the source for certain things like that. No, I'm not. You need to subscribe to them brothers for that surgical precision. My point of view is more socially. The point of today's show, and I'm going to take some of your calls later on, is how do we react? We see what's happened. This white man drove 200 miles to target black people specifically, right in alignment with how white supremacy operates. White supremacy attacks soft black targets. They don't want to. White supremacists are like Canelo Alvarez. They look tough, but they really don't want that fade. Yeah, I said it, you Alvarez groupies. Y'all saw what happened last week. He got his face pounded in because he cherry picked the wrong target. Canelo Alvarez been running from Charlos, Benavidez, and Andrade for the last 5 years, facing over the hill, past their prime, and unknown bums. Canelo Alvarez looking tough, but the minute he met someone that wanted his huckle, but see, Canelo Alvarez been basically, we call him the European champion. He been fighting all these these European fighters, and we all know white folks, they as good as they can be, you know, they ain't got that next level when it comes to certain things. You know what I mean? When you're dealing with equal talent. Now, if one is more talented and more skilled than the other, you know, then they'll win. You know, yeah, of course Fury beat Deontay Wilder. Deontay Wilder didn't start boxing until he was 21. Fury been boxing since he was 6. So Fury was by far the superior skilled athlete. But when we're talking about equal skill, equal preparation, oh, the white boy gonna lose every time. So Canelo Alvarez got off, you know, he's fighting Abney Yildirim, he's fighting Caleb Plant, he's fighting these white boys that are good, but they ain't got that next level. You know, they ain't got that next step. You saw last night, for you boxing fans that saw the Charlo Castellano fight. I wish I was there. I had money to go. I had the time to go, but I personally protested that fight because of Charlo's comments on Deontay Wilder saying things aren't about race. And he was on some bullshit, let's all come together nonsense. I'm like, and he called his fans broke. So personally, I was like, I'm going to support him from afar. I'm not about to spend $100, $200 to get these ringside seats because of his comments. But I still support the brother. For those of you who don't watch boxing, and this all ties in together, ladies, I'm coming back. Y'all know I always come back to the point. Trust me, people. I have not diverged from the point. We just taking you on a journey. When I talk, we go on a journey. We talk about life, and we integrate life with what we see in front of us. You know what I mean? And sports is oftentimes a great analogy because the whole purpose of sports is wartime strategy. Read the ISIS papers by Dr. Francis Cress Welsing if you ain't up on game. Sports is wartime strategy. We as a people, we're in a war with white supremacy. We don't want it. We didn't call it, but they called it on us. So we have to know where we need to position ourselves in this war. I don't care how much you want to ignore race. Yesterday's shooting in Buffalo lets you know we are at motherfucking war. Snap into it, niggas. Back to my sports analogy, because sports is a simulation of war. And it's also can show us the power that we have, black people, because the power that we have in sports, that's the same power we have mentally. we just forgot. It's the reason why we invented the light bulb. It's the reason why the automobile came out of our mind. It's the reason why indoor plumbing came out of the black mind. It's the reason for that, niggas. We just got to tap into that shit. And we can use sports as a canvas to paint on, to illustrate the power that we all have as black people within. And if you ain't black, this ain't no hate towards you. This is just calling it as it is. We're peaceful people. It's just at this time we must tap into our power to deal with the shit that we have going on in front of us. Something that we didn't ask for and some y'all others don't help with. So chill and listen. You dig? So Jermell Charlo, ESPN, last week when they came out with their pound for pound rankings, they didn't even have him in the top 10 pound for pound fighters. They had some unknown Asian fighter who's fought about a whole bunch of unknown and over the hill fighters as number 2 pound for pound. They had Canelo, even though he got his ass whooped, still in the top 5 pound for pound. And the real black fighters who are really the best, most of them fight with the PBC, a black-owned company owned by Al Heyman. Al Heyman, the man that once managed Marvin Gaye. Al Heyman, the man that put together the Bad Tour by Michael Jackson. the man that put together the Victory Tour by the Jackson 5. Shouts out to Sam Watson, the face of Al Heyman's company. Y'all know Sam Watson's the only nigga on earth that calls me little. Every time I see Sam Watson, what's up, Little Red? Because my dad nickname is Red. And my dad and Sam Watson grew up together. They go back. So every time Sam see me, I remember when I was upwards of 400 pounds, I saw Sam at a Laker game, courtside. Hey, Little Red, you getting big than motherfucker, Little Red. Salute to Sam Watson, my guy. Brandon Watson, Westchester High School. M. Waddy, Marcus. Those are my people right there. I love them. Back to the story. So, Charlo, not even in the top 10 rankings, has 3 of the belts at 154. 154 is one of the toughest divisions in boxing. Fighting for undisputed. The 154 weight class has never had an undisputed champion in the 4-belt era. Charlo's fighting his second fight against Brian Castellano, an Argentinian. And all of the writers said just because Charlo the last fight was a draw, but just because Charlo didn't dominate him, they was all talking all kind of shit. So in yesterday's fight, the fight was even through 6 rounds, but after the 6th round, you saw the blackness come out. You saw that melanin come. You saw Charlo turn it up to another level. And cat. 10th round, knockout, nigga. Right hook to the body, left hook to the nose. Night. In the 10th round. Got to see where that melanin, if you watch the fight closely, because Castellanos a dope ass fighter, got all the heart in the world. I'd pay to see his next fight. That's how dope he was. And that's why I ain't got no issues with people of if you from Latin descent. This ain't about downing you. But it is about pointing out what I see. I saw where when the fight was at its toughest, when Charlo's backs were against the rope, he had a draw the last fight. He's fighting for undisputed. This other fighter keeps in his face pressure. Castellano pressured him the whole fight. But Charlo had that jab, just enough jab to keep him up off him. The fight was real even. But when it came down in boxing, they call rounds 10 through 12, those are your championship rounds. That's when your true grit's gonna come out. That's when your true character's gonna come out. And Charlo's came out. And the black person that the white media company ESPN don't want to acknowledge became the first undisputed champion in the history of that weight division. Meanwhile, the person that they had ranked number 1, Canelo Alvarez, the one that they sold us all hill of beans to, he been going around fighting all these white fighters who don't have that next level. But he ran into a Russian last week that's fighting for motherfucking pride. His country's at war, god damn it. I ain't about to lose this fight. So Bivol, pop. Canelo Alvarez, yes, he's Latin, but he's white. They see him as white. Yeah, I know he's Latin, but we ain't about to play y'all little Latin games. Y'all put white on y'all driver's license. And since boxing knows it ain't no real white stars, they just, acquiesce around the Latino stars that identify as white, that look white. Alvarez, when he was faced with the same pressure that Charlo was faced with, couldn't step up. Why am I using this boxing analogy, people? Because that's how we are as black people. We don't get acknowledged, no matter how great we are. The white boy who's running, the white boy who hasn't shown improvement at the highest level, the white boy just gets a social promotion just because of the color of his skin. So what does that do? It creates a false perception that they are somehow greater than us. And that's the message a lot of us take from it. Those of us in here who weren't always conscious, a lot of us started to wake up around 2012, 2016. You know, there are a few of you guys who was raised in households where blackness was black first was the way of the day. But let's tell the truth, that was a small minority of black households, because if that was the majority of black households, we wouldn't be in the situation that we in. So we ain't about to rewrite history. It'd be some niggas that be like, man, I was always on this conscious path, brother. I've been listening to the consciousness since I saw Malcolm X in 1991, brother. Who are these people who just woke up when it was hidden colors? I hate you kind of niggas. Like, if you been conscious that goddamn long, why you still living in a studio apartment with an ankh around your neck and ashy ass ankles? I can't stand them kind of niggas. People wake up whenever they wake up. You can't judge somebody because they woke up later than you. All the fuck that matters is that they awake, nigga. So don't be that person in my comment section after the video. Man, I don't know about these brothers, man. I was going down to the Hotep rally in 2001 while you niggas was listening to Nelly. While y'all was listening to Nelly, I was listening to OG Chakra Balance. Y'all never heard of OG Chakra Balance? He got that one song about doing a meditation. Shit, that's where mumble rap come from. OG Chakra Balance. And that song, let's all when we meditate. Brother, who the hell are you just now waking up with that diet consciousness, hidden colors? Tariq ain't tell anybody what they didn't already know, brother. I hate you niggas. Well, I can't say hate. I don't hate you niggas. I don't. I need to take that back. My apologies. I don't hate you niggas. I just want to slap you niggas. That's all. I don't hate y'all. I just wish that we should all, if you knew all this information before us and didn't tell us, and not only tell us, if you weren't a living example of the information, meaning your life reflected the information that was in your mind since 1990, we need to line you up and slap the fuck out of you. That's what we need. Back to what we talking about. So, as people started to wake up, we started to see the game for what it is. And, you know, white supremacist groups, and salute to Brother Tariq Nasheed, he turned us all onto the book, The Turner Diaries. Well, I didn't know about the Turner Diaries until I think Tariq Nasheed I first heard him mention that book like in 2015. And when he mentioned the book, I'm the kind of person that if you mention the book to me, I'm buying that hoe and I'm reading it for myself to make sure your ass ain't lying. I'm a speed reader. I can read a book. I can read a 300-page book in about 2 hours or less, depending on if I'm smoking or not while I'm doing it. But 98% of the time I got a joint in my hand, but sometimes I got to sit the book down to roll another joint. Because when I'm not high, my speed reading ain't as good. My speed reading is better when I'm high. So for all you niggas that go around talking about weed heads ain't productive, shit. Let me smoke 2 joints. I'll read your book in 2 hours or less. Focused. So when Tariq mentioned the Turner Diaries, I went and I read the motherfucker. Not all of it, because I will admit, I didn't read all his books. That shit was kind of sick. And that's what but one thing that stuck out in the book was talking about like the soft targets. They don't fuck with real niggas. The same way Canelo Alvarez has avoided fighting real niggas. Since the last real nigga he fought, Floyd Mayweather, whooped his ass. And you really lost to Israndi Lara too, Canelo, by the way. If you go back and watch that fight versus Israndi Lara, Lara whooped his ass. But the judges gave the shit to Canelo. Like they do. So that's why I use boxing as an analogy. When they prepared, our preparation always wins. And you know what I mean by being prepared. There's another great black saying. What's understood don't need to be said. So when I do open up my phone lines later on, please don't call in talking about something. Nah, brother, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my steel, right? And I'm going to hide out in a corner. And next time one of them white motherfuckers, I'm going to come out. Beep. That's what's going to happen to you. I'm going to hang up. You obvious niggas are another problem. Always running y'all goddamn mouth. Trying to sound tough on the internet. Shut your ass up, nigga. People understand what it is. And if they don't understand, then they don't understand. They'll either get it or they won't. Can't save everybody. Thank you, Quan. Captain Obvious ass motherfuckers. Now what you need to do, brother, is we need to go ahead and, you know, I'm all for talking about guns. You know, shouts out to Larry Goodwill. He got a whole show on that. I wish that nigga would post more episodes. I'm going to slap the fuck out of him. But his episodes of shooting the shit are great. So you need to understand that stuff. You need to understand the tactical things. But other than that, that's one way of approaching it. And for those of you who approach on that level, stop talking so goddamn much. Just go if that's your vibration, if you're on the energy vibration of hand-to-hand armed combat, then you should know to go get hand-to-hand armed combat training. And then shut the fuck up. All on the internet talking about, see, the revolution, you at the shooting range with a goddamn shooting poster of Mr. Rogers or some white person, and you shooting, and then you on the gram holding your gun talking about something. This is what I'm gonna do to you white motherfuckers, man. I'm Willie Green. Yes, nigga, you deserve to get indicted, and I'm not gonna be there for you. Niggas always running their goddamn mouth. Ain't doing shit. If you're on the energy vibration of tactical defense, then get some training and shut the fuck up. Me personally, I believe in physical defense because we are in a physical world. So I do believe people should get trained in whatever they feel they need to get trained in. I'm not throwing out suggestions, but you understand. But there are also other vibrations to fight back and to be proactive in reaction to this level of terrorism. You dig? We just have to know that we as a people, we just have to have a confidence in ourselves spiritually, mentally, and physically when it comes to facing this system. The same confidence we have in ourselves on the basketball court, the same confidence we have in ourselves on the dance floor, in the rap booth, on the football field, and in the boxing ring. The same confidence we have in ourselves when it's us versus them, we should have that same confidence in ourselves when it's us versus them in every other aspect of life. Because it's true. You don't need a whole system that allows these irregular forces of white supremacy to coalesce online and shoot up a whole bunch of black people on Twitch without that being something that's obviously allowed by the people who run the government that we're in. They allow these things because they understand our power. And they also understand that we don't understand our power. You dig what I'm saying? We have that same level of dominance. Yes, please hit the like button, y'all. Hit the like button. So we see what's going on. So how do we react to this? I had a great Twitter space yesterday with Great Black Shark, Black Voltron, Raheem Shabazz. And if you don't have that DVD series, Elementary Genocide, get that. Google Raheem Shabazz and Elementary Genocide. That video changed my life because I was working with children in the schools at the time, and I didn't know what the fuck I was seeing. But all I knew, I saw black kids getting railroaded, and I didn't know what the fuck that was. This shit literally sent me to depression. But seeing Hidden Colors and Elementary Genocide, that let me see that I was up against the system. Then once I saw I was against the system, I was able to withdraw my emotions from it and react to the system in a more calculated way, the same way I will react and approach a math problem. If I have a math problem, compound fractions, I don't sit there and bitch and moan about the compound fractions. I learn how to solve compound fractions, and I approach my math problems with a non-emotional point of view, just solving the problem. That's how we must approach white terrorism. We have to get into the habit, black people, of labeling these things. What does the Bible say for you Christian motherfuckers this Sunday? Call those things that be not as though they were. See, black people, there's a lot of great things in that Bible, in that Quran, although I don't really fuck with the Quran like that. But in that Bible, but if you look at the Bible as a religion, you're going to miss the whole message. You look at them goddamn parables as aspects of yourself. That's all ancient, that's all spirituality is. If whether you're in the Bible, whether you're into Kemet and Horus and Heru and Asar and Aset and that story, whatever you're in to, that's fine. I'm not here to judge. But these parables that they give you, they're illustrations of the power within you if you're aware of that and you know how to activate it. See, I approach this human shit on multi-levels because we're multi-level people. We are humans. We're also spirits. We also have souls. And that's not no spooky oogie-oogieism, nigga. That's science, nigga. If you don't believe there's a greater life force pushing you through this earth thing, then this may not be the channel for you to listen to. That's cool. We all on the level we at while we at it. I ain't got no judgment against it. But if you are aware that you are bigger than who you are and who you see when you look in the mirror, this message is for you. If it ain't for you, that's cool. That's cool. Ain't no problem with that. Tell your mama I'll still be over there about 1:45 a.m. while you sleep. You know, we can get it in. No, I'm just playing. I'm just playing. But anyway, that was just a joke, people. I'll be there at 4 a.m., not 1:45, all right? Well, back to the story. We are here to know that when you face this terrorists, you have to understand that you do have a higher understanding. And you have more going for you than what you see with your two eyes. Shouts out to Erykah Badu, 20 Feet Tall. Go back and listen to that intro song on her New America Part 2. That's what that song 20 Feet Tall is about. See, if I was on Mixcloud, I'll play the song right now. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna break Erykah Badu down on another Mixcloud episode too, pretty soon. Now I recall I'm 20 feet tall, but if I get off my knees, I might recall I'm 20 feet tall. You 20 feet tall, nigga. So, there's going back to the Bible verse that I quoted, call those things that be not as though they were. That is the spiritual interpretation of what we call in communication the power of fiat. For those of you who don't know, I don't want to sound like Boyce Watkins where I'm always repeating my credibility. I don't want to do like every time you watch a Boyce Watkins video, you know, I'm really a financial advisor and I got a PhD from Syracuse. Like, nigga, Boyce Watkins, you talking about playing Call of Duty. What the fuck you bringing up your PhD from Syracuse for? But it's new people. So I got to, my degree's in communication studies, Bachelor's of Art, Cal State Northridge. So we're going to tie in the spiritual version of the physical earthly science version of the same thing so we can illustrate the point. So if you're not into spirituality, I'll give you the earthly version. If you don't want to study up on the earthly side, I'll give you the spiritual version. It's all saying the same shit. Science is just an explanation of the spiritual world that we live in, nigga. So in communication, instead of saying call those things that be not as though they were, we say use the power of fiat. Fiat has power. Fiat is nothing, like our money. The money that we deal with is an agreed upon value. And that's what makes $100 $100. Over in Ghana, they got all that goddamn gold, but they dollar is worth, what, 100 to 1 or something like that of ours? And they got the actual gold to back their money. The United States don't. But fiat says, Ghana, your money's trash. Wow. This white money, the dollar, the euro, the yen, this has value. There ain't no resources in Europe, but fiat says it's value. Fiat, the power of fiat is what they use against us all the time. When they put black people the face of all the things wrong in America, they put it on black people. That's using the power of fiat. We're not the most violent people on earth. We're not the most violent people in America. Our crime is on the same level of everyone else's crime. America's a criminal fucking nation, and everyone in this nation is playing their part. Matter of fact, black crimes are either crimes of opportunity or they're low-level crimes. Black people sell drugs on the streets. Asians and Mexicans and white people bring it in with their ships. How can black people sell the drugs on the streets without those other groups bringing those drugs in? How could black people sell crack without white scientists at UCLA creating crack? But they put crack and drug dealing in the face of criminality on black people. That's the greater society. That's white society using the power of fiat. That's white society calling those things that be not as though they were. If you're going to read the Bible, nigga, at least use it for self-empowerment. They tell you you should be worshiping some white dude with blue eyes and a shag. That's how I knew that a lot of that Christian shit was some like. I'm like, I know God Almighty is not gonna make me worship somebody with a shag. Why does Jesus have a shag? Why do every picture of Jesus look like what's the name of that group? Shout, let it all out. Why does Jesus look like a member of Tears of Fears? That's how I should have known when I was a kid. I should have known better than to buy into that. Like, God ain't gonna make nobody that saved me that looked like he could have played keyboard for Tears for Fears. I know God ain't that crazy. Ain't no way in hell. Now, if they made Jesus, if you gonna make him white, now if they made him look like, George Clooney or something like that, okay. I maybe, but no. Y'all made that nigga look like a keyboard player from Tears for Fears and then told me he my savior. I should have known something was up. Somebody said, what about the ancient pictures of Jesus from Ethiopia? If they had the ancient pictures of Jesus from Ethiopia in black churches, black people wouldn't be under the spell we in. Let's not get ahead of ourselves, people. I talk about the world we live in, not the ideal world we would like to live in. It's too many people out here talking about the world, the ideal world. We don't live in the ideal world. We got to talk about the world for what it is. Yes, there are exceptions. It may be one church out of every 100,000 that got Ethiopian Jesus in it. But for the rest of them, it's going to be a picture of Jesus and his shag. Jesus looking like a BG. Nobody gets too much heaven. I love that song, though. I love that song. Girl, me and you can fly. Nobody gets too much heaven. Love is such a beautiful thing. Jesus over here singing 3-part harmony with 2 Australian motherfuckers. Hey, Larry, white Jesus will knock your ass out, Larry. Larry said he'll whoop white Jesus. No, he won't. White Jesus went down to the pits of hell, and supposedly he beat the devil's ass in a 3-day knockdown, drag-out match. On Friday night, Jesus went to hell, nigga. And then on a different Sunday every year, that's the Sunday that Jesus rose from the pits of hell after his 3-day Hell in a Cell match with Red Satan. Y'all know how that shit go. Where was I at? I lost where I was. We was talking about Christianity. If you're going to use Christianity, go back and reread those parables and see yourself as the person within the parable. There you'll get some self-empowerment. The reason why the Bible's lasted so long, because yes, it's a bunch of lies in that shit, but no lie can last 2,000 years. Or since King James, no lie can last 400 years like that and still be this powerful. If it was all lie. It's a lot of truth, but with a lying twist. Get past the lying twist and you can get something. I'm not a Christian. I'm a black motherfucking man on earth that lives my spirituality. I don't identify as no religion, but I will use any religion for the self-empowerment within it as a guide and a mold for me to see my full potential. So when you read these parables, see yourself in it. Call those things that be not as though they were, if you're into spirituality. Power of fiat if you're an atheist, just go look up the power of fiat. I remember talking about that in one of my classes. It was debate. I was in debate 202. I was on the debate team in college. But before I got on the debate team, I took a debate class. And in our debate class, they talked about using the power of fiat. You can create it. And if you stand on it and you get a second lead, meaning other people to back what you say, you can now use a word for whatever power you determine it. White people use the power of fiat on the word nigga. That's why I use nigga. It's our goddamn word. I don't have any association with their use of power of fiat. Niggas, nigger, nigger, Niger, all terms used that meant good and great things. Powerful, king. And then here come this toothless redneck with long hair and can't even, motherfuckers that didn't even know how to bathe themselves until the wars came. These motherfuckers didn't know how to brush their fucking teeth. Look at the goddamn, what's that Prince Charles and his son? What's the other, Kate Middleton's husband? That's that Prince, that little bastard, the Queen of England's little grandson. That motherfucker 40 years old with gray teeth. How your teeth rotting in you in your 40s? If we let some rotten tooth motherfuckers tell us what the word nigga is, using the power of fiat. We let these toothless motherfuckers who actually look like monkeys call us monkeys. Chimpanzees ain't got no lips, just like y'all. Chimpanzees are hairy all over, just like y'all. And chimpanzees will grab their own shit to throw it on their own brother, just like y'all. I'm sorry. Was I telling the truth? I'm sorry. Was I telling the truth? So we've allowed these people to use the power of fiat against us. It's our job to use the power of fiat against them, because rhetoric is also a part of war. A major component of war is rhetoric. Before the United States goes to war, or they decide to marginalize a group of people, they start off with propaganda. That's why at the end of slavery, when black people were being released, they had to send out negative propaganda campaigns. That's where the Mammy image comes from. They had the Jim Crow plays, the Americana stuff with the big lips eating watermelon. They had to lower the opinion of black people, because just out of slavery, the opinions of black people in America was extremely high. We were known as loyal. We were known as good workers, hard workers. We were known as good people, trustworthy. That's what, go back and look up. Oliver Stone has a whole documentary where a white man tells you this shit. When he talks about the history of the U.S., like it was just after Reconstruction. I forgot the name of that documentary. But he goes into detail talking about the high opinion of black people just out of slavery. They had to go on the late 1800s. They would start sending out these mailers and all of this negative propaganda with lazy black people just sitting around eating watermelon, to change the opinions of black people to justify the harm America was inflicting on black people. That's why Hollywood has been the greatest tool the white supremacists has ever had. The Hollywood, the image, the fact that they control imagery. Imagery is warfare, people. They use their imagery in their Hollywood, Birth of a Nation, which reignited the Ku Klux. When Birth of a Nation came out and the Ku Klux Klan got a rebirth, nigga, Joseph Goebbels said that the Minister of Propaganda of Germany, his ass said he learned how to propagandize the Jews based on how the United States propagandized Black America. Again, using the power of fiat. I'm giving you example of it doesn't even have to be true for you to use it. So if using the power of fiat can be used powerfully at a lie, imagine having that same approach when you got the truth backing you. Imagine that. If this powerful tool of deception has been used against us so powerfully, how effective can it be when you at least have the truth on your side? See, one thing we can do in this war, because we are being attacked at all angles, that's why I don't listen to them niggas that be like, man, you don't need to do this, you need to do that. No, nigga, we need to do it all. Because we're being attacked at all angles. We need to also use our power to call those things that are as they really are. Let me change that scripture up. Call those things that is the way it really is. Or the way our Uncle Willie Green said, tell it like it T.I. is, brother. That's how they said it back in the set. I remember my dad used to say that when he be hanging out with his homeboys. We be watching the Sugar Ray Leonard fight. And when the fight's over, they all playing dominoes. And at some point, Uncle Michael gonna be like, yeah, brother, tell it like it T.I. is. You know how the generation above us used to talk. Tell it like it T.I. is, nigga. That's what we gotta do. We gotta tell it like it T.I. is. How is it? I started to post this post last week, but I forgot. So I'm going to show it to you right now. These are articles just from this year. We're talking 2020, and these are recent articles. New York Times. Far-right groups are behind most U.S. terrorist attacks. While they're giving out special protections to Asians and LGBTQ, they're telling you this far-right violence is a problem. Yet, you don't see RICO laws being used to prosecute these far-right terrorists. If you want greater detail on that, go back and listen to Tariq Nasheed's most recent broadcast that he did. He talked about, when he's talking about the whole situation with that rapper that got caught up on the RICO laws. Go and look up that episode of Tariq's broadcast. He really broke down how RICO laws are being used against black people, yet at the same time, these white terrorist organizations get to flourish without RICO laws being used against them. This is the New York Times, the so-called most credible newspaper in the United States, talking about right terrorist groups. What about this article from last year? About a year ago. Top law enforcement officials say the biggest domestic terror threat comes from white supremacists. This was May 12, 2021. The other article in the New York Times was October 20th, 2020. So we have a record of information. We have a track record. And we all know in 2016, the FBI said white supremacist groups are the biggest threat to internal security. They said the same in 2012. They said the same under Bush 1, under Obama, and under Trump. And no matter which was in office, Republican or Democrat, white or black, dumbass, or dumbass, all three of them is dumbasses. Although, Obama wasn't a dumbass. Obama was very smart. He knew not to help us out because he knew he didn't fuck with us. So I can't give him the dumb excuse. He was extremely smart. He chose not to fuck with us. But Bush too, and Trump, them was two dumb motherfuckers. And then now under Biden, with his shag, y'all see a theme here. I don't trust people with shags. I did a joke last night when I was on stage. I hadn't been on stage in about a month. I poured out a joke that I hadn't done since Obama was in office. I'm not gonna tell it to y'all now because if y'all come see me live, you might hear it. But I just improv'd an old joke with a whole new vibe to it. I was going in on Biden last night. Ooh. And I did this in front of an all black crowd. And these black people were in their 50s and 60s. And you know how black people in their 50s and 60s feel about the Democrats. Nigga, I went in on Joe Biden last night. I said, you motherfuckers chose to elect Bernie. Weekend at Bernie, this motherfucker doing presidential speeches dead. Looking like James Earl Jones in Coming to America 2, just up there in the casket, giving a State of the Union. I'm not gonna give any more of it out. That was just part of the joke. It's a much funnier joke than that. That was just one of the punchlines I remember from last night. I improv the joke, and I didn't record my set. Damn it. Larry, I didn't record last night's set. I better write some of them jokes down while they're still in my mind. But I be improving my shit when I'm on stage. The same way I improv with y'all. I don't write these I keep saying I'm gonna write my jokes down, but I really don't. I improv my shit. Cause I'm a nigga. That's how black people do. We invented stand-up comedy, nigga. Well, back to my story. So, what's going on in America right now is no matter who's president, whether they're white, black, thug or not thug, he said, super chat, concealed gun carry advice on gun carry laws. Appreciate the super chat. My advice on concealed carry is to look up the laws in your local area and do what it takes to get a concealed carry license. If you're in Los Angeles, California, I don't know where you are, brother, who asked that, but if you're in Los Angeles, California, you know that you can, that what's been going on right now, Sheriff Villanueva, he's giving up concealed carry. Like, you could actually apply for concealed carry here in Los Angeles for the first time, like in over 40 years, and be accepted. I'm currently going through that process right now. So I encourage you to look up your local laws when it comes to concealed carry. If your place doesn't have local, they want to allow you a concealed carry license, then do what you need to do to feel what you need to feel. You dig what I'm saying? Do you love what you feel? Cause I love what you do to me. I wanna dance all night. All night. Excuse me, I'm sorry. I just got to feel it. The way Shaka Khan weaves her way through that bridge, man, that's some singing right there. But back to what I'm saying. If there's no concealed carry in DC, then you must do what you need to do. Damn, Tasha told me to stop singing? Okay. Hey, shouts out to Delano L. I know you up in that Buffalo area. That Delano L. Salute to you, man. And salute to your city. Salute to your city, my brother. Shouts out to Delano L in the chat room. But, man, Tasha told me to stop singing. Damn. Now I got to reconsider my life. Tasha always on my side. Tasha always on my side. I can see if Larry told me to stop singing, he ain't nobody to listen to. I'll slap Larry, but Tasha told me to stop singing? Damn. All right, y'all. I'm going to stop singing. If Tasha told me to stop singing, I'm going to stop singing. Until the next song I feel like singing. Somebody asked did I finish the tree? Hell, the tree is almost finished. The tree is almost finished, and I'm gonna get back to it, but since somebody asked about the tree, let me give this quick commercial break. Yes, nigga, the tree is almost finished, my brother. You see here? Have you ever seen music look so beautiful? Have you ever? No, that's the let me do this one. The Black family, the foundational Black American music tree is almost done. It's gonna look a little different down here. This is copywritten, dickhead, so don't even try it. But I'm talking about, you know, where all the, this is the 1600s, the 1700s, 1800s. You see as Black people, you see where we created spoken word and stand-up comedy. You see how we created jazz, blues, soul, rock and roll, R&B, and disco and funk. And the branches, those genres of music created. From bebop, you get Latin jazz, salsa, bossa nova. From disco, you get Latin pop, EDM, UK garage, Brazilian house music. From hip hop and the P-funk, you get rap. From Motown, you get reggae and ska. From the Delta blues, you get yodeling and folk. Yeah, nigga. I'm rewriting the story on how music is told. We gonna tell the truth for the first time. Hey, Larry said you can make a black music bush. That's funny. Yeah, that's coming. It's almost done. It's almost done. But back to what I'm saying. We have to, I just went 30 minutes talking about using the power of fiat. But us having the truth on our side, I'm showing you where they're the terrorists. We have to call them what they are. We cannot be afraid. Black people, we have to talk to our children about the threat we face and about how they go after hard targets and how you must make yourself useful and a hard target. One issue that we have in Black America is we raise our boys to be non-threatening. No, Black people, we must be very threatening. If you cannot have arms, then there are other less than lethal. Look up, for the brother who asked about DC, look up whatever less than lethal arms you can take. Our brother Black Voltron yesterday in the live, in the Twitter space, Great Black Shark put on, Black Voltron said something that I never thought of and considered. He said carry a can of wasp spray. Maybe see if you can find a small one, the kind that foams. He said because that's instant killing and that foam spreads. You might not be able to carry a gun, but it's little things like that that are legal that you can find. Pepper spray if you can. They have pepper balls. There are lots and lots of less than lethal arms you can take in towns that you can't carry guns. I encourage you to look up what is allowed in your district and carry that. That's what I recommend. We got to be creative. We got to be creative. Kenneth Berry said bear pepper spray. Try that. I'm sure if it'll fuck a bear up, it'll really fuck a human up. That's a funny one, Deep Impressions. Wasp. Anglo-white Saxon protection. I know that Wasp is Protestant, but I was thinking Anglo-white. That's Anglo-white Saxon protection. Wasp spray, nigga. Octoria says the pepper ball military weapon is the truth. Yeah. Oh yeah, Tariq got that Ogun juice. Yeah, he do. I forgot all about that, Kenneth Berry. Yeah, he got that Ogun juice. Yeah. Be creative, Black people. And we must set the narrative for those of us on code. White supremacy is a terrorist organization. White supremacy includes your irregular forces of white supremacy, like Neely Fuller says. That would be this shooter right here. Your regular forces of white supremacy, that's the police officers and the judicial system. White supremacy includes the people who are in charge of hiring. And these white supremacists are oftentimes here in LA. They're Mexican if they're here in LA, oftentimes, not all Mexicans. But if you have work at a job that has a Mexican in charge of hiring, that whole warehouse is Mexican. Black people ain't got no fucking jobs. They're Cuban if you're in Florida. They're Somali if you're in Minnesota. These are all people who buy into white supremacist ideologies. We must be unafraid to call all of these motherfuckers out. And we gotta stand 10 toes down when we do it. The children must see us do this. Yeah, Asians if you're in Seattle, San Francisco, well hell, LA now. So yesterday, our brother Great Black Shark, he had some dope suggestions in his go back. I don't know if you saved that Twitter space yesterday of Great Black Shark, but if you did, please. I don't know if you reposted it or not in the chat room. Post it. Great Black Shark has some great ideas as far as tactical training. He has some dope ideas. So I was like, God damn, okay. What's another way we can combat white supremacy? We, as the black men and women of the society, and Great Black Shark, also post your channel here in the chat room. But we as black society, we have to own the power of the narrative. We have to take back control of the narrative. The narrative isn't something that's given to you. The narrative is taken. We must control the narrative. We don't have the Hollywood propaganda mill, but we all have our own voice. And enough of us speaking in a manner that's going to support our own and make it a black first ideology, enough of us doing that, it can counteract any $500 million movie Disney has out there for us. Yes, they could put a gay black character in the Eternals, but we could all speak up like, hey, look, no disrespect to the gays, but this is too much. Y'all are a part of our society and we do welcome you. But this propaganda shit that's going on in Hollywood, with every black person being gay, or if it is a straight black man, he's a sissified punk. Y'all see them Aflac commercials? Every time a little duck come out, you got this grown ass black man going, like a bitch. It ain't been a nigga on TV that's come on TV in the last 10 years that I didn't want to slap. Black man is either a thug, a sissy, or a bitch. And I'm not gonna stop using the word sissy. It's funny. It's funny. It's either a thug, a sissy, or a bitch. Those are the three images of black men that black children see. And we gotta know that when it comes down to it, the brain doesn't have the power to filter out bullshit before the age of 8. Your filtration system don't come online in your frontal cortex and your frontal lobe until you're 8. And you still don't properly know how to use it, and it's not fully developed until the age of 24. depending on if you were raised in a traumatic environment or not till 30. And a lot of us are raised in traumatic environments. So the ability to filter is tough for a lot of people. But the way to get around that is if the adults in the society, the men and the women, have our own narrative. Like I said yesterday, I was like, when it come down to it, when it comes to controlling the narrative and being on code, another part of being on code and controlling the narrative is if they do something great, that's cool. But I bet not ever hear a black man around me say Eminem is in a top 5 or Eminem is a GOAT. Dumb nigga. You know what that's doing to the mindset of your children? You taking our art and the art that we dominate and saying that, hey, let's just share it. They're just as good as us, and they ain't. They're not. If Eminem was black, he'd be as famous as Royce the 5'9", and he ain't even good as him. Royce is very popular among rappers, but outside of rap, don't nobody know who the fuck Royce the 5'9" is. He's actually a better rapper than Eminem. But niggas always want to, man, Eminem the greatest. Dummy. Ray Charles is probably the greatest probably released one of the greatest country albums of all time. But you'll never hear them motherfuckers acknowledge it. And country ain't even their music, it's ours. But that's power. That's exercising power. You may be good. You may think Eminem is good. You may actually listen to Eminem. And the thing is, most niggas that put Eminem in their top 5 don't even listen to his ass. And you bring up an album that he did 22 fucking years ago. If he was that goddamn great, why didn't he put out a classic last year like Nas did? This nigga Nas still putting out classics. Gave us a treasure around Christmas time with his newest album. Nas still putting out classics. But you niggas will put Eminem right next to him. Dummies. And I don't pull my punches. Dummies. If you personally like Eminem, that's fine. I can't tell you who not to like. But you better learn how to control the fucking narrative and protect your house, nigga. At what point are the black men gonna protect our fucking house? Always bitching and moaning about other people taking our shit, but you be the last motherfucker to protect what we did build. Yeah, Eminem was a product of Dr. Dre. That's it, Bismarck T. That's it. Dre couldn't miss in the early 2000s. Dre made 50 Cent sound good. Hell, let's not sleep on that Firstborn Second album by Bilal. Sometimes. All right, Tasha, I'm not going to sing. The Game, yeah. If you was with Dr. Dre between 1989 and 2003, you had a hit. Period. The Firm didn't really hit the way we thought it would. Yeah. But everybody, that was a one-off. It was still a dope album, though. It didn't hit the way we thought it would, but that was a one-off. We must control our narrative. If a black person does something around me, they're the greatest ever. And I'm usually telling that, and that's not a stretch, it's not a lie, they are. I'm not going to equate them to us. Why? Because I want to have in the minds of the youth, the internal, and I want them to have something to hold on that they can say is their own. I want them to have pride in something. I want the adults to have pride in something. What if the adults today started, when it comes to the war on rhetoric, what if we started being black first in everything that we do? Stop saying dumb shit just because one black person did something bad. Man, I can't mess with black people. That's why we don't trust ourselves now. Because we grew up in an environment with the grown people saying, Man, you better hire Mexican shit. Black people want to overcharge. I remember that shit in the 90s. I don't forget. For you people down south that are just now getting Mexicans, I'm pretty sure y'all dealing with that right now. But I remember hearing this shit back in the 80s and the 90s when black people were still the majority of handymen and gardeners and people around LA. They were saying, get yourself a Mexican. One black person do them wrong. You know, black people be messing up. I grew up listening to that shit. That poison. Now black people are crying and complaining that the Mexicans took everything in LA. But I remember back in the 90s when niggas gave it up because we didn't have love for ourselves. We couldn't just say, hey, that black person was terrible. Let me try the next black person. You're right, Wayne Robinson. Black people be the first ones to say Mexicans work harder. Dumb niggas. If they work that hard, why ain't Mexico cracking? Think before you speak. And I ain't talking shit about Mexicans either. Mexicans have a term. This is for la raza, the race. That's good. They should be like that. They didn't take anything that we didn't freely give away. They didn't take anything we did not freely give away. Same with our music. You niggas going around talking about some Eminem is the greatest. All right. Ice Cube said it. True to the game. Keep on that bullshit. It ain't gonna be no Ice Cubes, just Vanilla Ice. Go listen to that breakdown of the Death Certificate album I did on Incense and Ashtrays. We're at that point. We got to go all the way back in-house. We have to truly insulate ourselves. And narrative is powerful. Watch what you say around each other. Watch what you say around the kids. And when people say that bullshit around you, check them. Go back and watch Craig Facts last week when DJ Show tried to say he had a black contractor, and man, he was like, man, that's why I don't even hire black people no more because of one fucking issue. I checked him right on camera in front of all y'all. That video, before everything is said and done, it's probably going to get up to 50,000 views over there. I don't know where it is now, but in about a month or so, it'll be around 50,000 views. That's going to be, because I couldn't let 50,000 black people hear, man, I'm never going to hire another black person because one black person did. We've been hearing that shit too much. So no. I'm gonna check that shit, and I'm checking that shit on air. No matter who watching. Thank you for that, Jayla Baxter. So these are things that we can do. I'm from LA. I'm in LA. I saw what's happening with you guys down south and on the East Coast with the large immigrant populations migrating your way. I'm 40 now. I've seen this very intensely for the last 30 years of my life. And I was keenly aware of it while it was going on. Because I remember being in the 80s on our block, 58th Street. And in 1988, having two Mexican neighbors. In 1993, half the block is Mexican. And by 96, only being three black people left on the block. To now, my grandparents, the only people on the block. I saw this shit happen day by day, year by year. So take heed to our warnings. This isn't about hate. And it ain't about, again, it ain't about, you don't need to go around disrespecting them. They doing what they need to do. I ain't got no hate towards them, man. I ain't got enough room in my heart to hate people or to this is strategy. Because when they come in, they are going to preserve their group first, as they should. They're going to be your homie. But when it comes time to pass out the resources, they're going to give them to their people first. That's just what it is. So you must, as black people, we must do the same. We must do the same with everything that we create. Us first. If you like somebody else from a different culture, fine. I love the Bee Gees. I love Steely Dan. I listen to Journey. I fucks with Iron Maiden. I fucks with Aerosmith. I fucks with Michael McDonald and Phil Collins. But they ain't in the same word as, they not gonna ever be mentioned in the same sentence as Parliament Funkadelic, nigga. Hell no. They ain't never gonna be mentioned with Count Basie, John Coltrane. When it comes to jazz, Chick Corea is my, if you know me, I love Chick Corea. When Chick Corea died, he's a white pianist that Miles Davis put on. He was on Miles Davis' Bitches Brew album, playing piano. And the electro fusion jazz, Chick Corea was at the forefront of that. One of my favorite of all time. I seen Chick Corea live at least 15 times. Saw him, the last time I saw him live was in 2019, right before this coronavirus hit. When Chick Corea died, February 2021, I actually shed a little tear because I went to go see him live in 1999 with me and my wife. No, 2000. And it was for a project I was in a jazz class in college. And we had to go see a jazz show at Royce Hall at UCLA. And I saw Chick Corea. Then I saw him again just before he died. Love Chick Corea from the bottom of my heart. Yes, I actually shed a slight tear when he died. Yes, I did. That's how much I love Chick Corea's music. Spain? Come on now. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. I love Chick Corea. But if we talking about piano, I'm not gonna put him ahead of Oscar Peterson, nigga. He ain't never gonna be ahead of Thelonious Monk, Herbie Hancock, Fats Waller. No. No. And I love that motherfucker. Got to shake his hand the last time I saw him live. But when we talking about piano, I'm going to bring up Herbie Hancock, Horace Silver. George Duke, Stevie Wonder. Patrice Rushen. Shit. I protect my culture. I protect my culture. And yes, I shed a tear when Chick Corea died. Man, one of my favorite times I went to go see Chick Corea was in 2010. Return to Forever got back together. Stanley Clarke on bass. And it was at the Hollywood Bowl. And wouldn't you know, when they played the song Spain, which is my absolute favorite Chick Corea song of all time, I played it on Incense and Ashtrays. Stevie Wonder came out and played the piano with Chick Corea as just a cameo. And then Shaka Khan came out and she scattered. That was one of the dopest moments ever on camera. Not on camera, now, I mean in person. I was at the Hollywood Bowl This is back to me and my wife, when we weren't married, when we were still younger, I had to get the seats way, way in the back. Now we got box seats like on the 10th row. We stunting on you niggas now at the Hollywood Bowl, me and my wife. Box seats on Wednesday night to the jazz series, you dig. We'll be right there on that 10th row, partying, eating watermelon and fried chicken and champagne. White folks, some of you niggas be embarrassed to eat fried chicken and watermelon in front of white folks. Me and my wife, we be at the Hollywood Bowl, nigga. 8th row, 10th row in our box. Fried chicken, watermelon, collard greens, nigga. All the nigga shit you can think of. But of course, with some demi-sec. Demi-sec is a beautiful champagne. Well, it can only be called champagne if it comes from the Champagne region of France. So it's called sparkling wine. For those of you who aren't wine heads, I am a wine head. It's sparkling wine when you're not in. It can only be called champagne when it's grown in the region of Champagne, France. I'm a refined nigga. Well, anyway, Chaka Khan and Stevie Wonder came out and played Spain with Chick Corea and Stevie Wonder, and they both played. And Stevie Wonder played Spain on the piano. Go and listen to that song "Spain" by Return to Forever, Chick Corea. Listen to the extended version, not the short one. Listen to the 10-minute long version. That part, nigga, I love music. Y'all can hear it in me, dog. I love music. Ooh, I love music. I love Chick Corea. But for the culture, my man Chick Corea got to stand. He got to take a back seat to Herbie Hancock, to Oscar Peterson. That's protecting the culture. Hell yeah, that whole lot of Light as a Feather album is dope. 500 miles high. I love that song too. So that's how we protect the culture, black people. Hey, hold on for like 30 seconds. I gotta go tell my wife something real quick. Give me 30 seconds. I'll be right back. That song. I've been playing the wrong song the whole time. Here we go. That's better. Give me 30 seconds, y'all. Happy birthday, Madison. I had to let my wife know, change the plans. We was about to go see Catalyst. Catalyst is a jazz group band out of Inglewood. For those of you who are in LA, there's an all-day free concert series at Inglewood City Hall. And Catalyst is performing. Catalyst is a jazz band out of Inglewood. So we were going to go see them, but change the plans, got to go celebrate my niece. But back to what we're talking about. We must keep control. Niggas, I'm running the show like a phone call. Yep, you damn right, Nino Black. Hey, this is life. I ain't in no studio. I'm not down at NBC Studios, and I'm sitting here in my computer in my office. Shit. With a wife and life. Sometimes the wife and the life that business gotta be taken care of within the show. But that's the beauty of the internet. You getting some real shit here. You ain't getting no contrived bullshit. You getting the real thing. So we over here talking about the face of terrorism and what we can do to combat. We must control our narrative. Two, we must know how to we must know how to protect ourselves. And for protection of self, I refer you to the channels that specialize in protection of self. And for everyone else, what understood doesn't need to be said. You dig. Two, you must be bold about standing and creating the narrative and standing 10 toes down and defending it. And another thing we can do is the people in the community, the men and the women, let's be nice to the young people. I sometimes look into the eyes of the youth, the teenagers, especially the teenage boys, and they look scared. They walk with their head down. They look disconnected from things, especially our young men in their early 20s. Men, when we see young men walking, look them in the eye, say hi. Acknowledge their humanity. Our young children, our young boys, their humanity is rarely, if almost never, acknowledged. Don't be like the older people who were around when I was a kid, always judging. Pull your pants up, son. Get an education. Man, fuck all that cliche nonsense bullshit, nigga. That didn't work. That shit didn't work. Niggas can't wait to get grown to judge the kids. Stop judging the young motherfuckers and be an asset to their life. When you see them walking down the street, say hi. Don't be afraid of them. Give them a word of encouragement. When you see them selling candy out front, I know you ain't got money every time, but if you do, give them a little bit of something. Look them in the eye. Let them know that their greatness personified. That they're all that we need. When you see them young people walking up down your block, acknowledge their humanity. Be a smiling face. Our young kids are under a lot of pressure, man. And what I see is us adults, we kind of just let them be. You got the women fighting for women's shit. Then you got these manosphere niggas over here crying about bullshit. But whether you're talking about feminism or manosphere, opposite sides of the same coin, there are no movements as strong by the adults for our children. And that's sad. That's on us. How we got more passion for how women talked about Kevin Samuels than we do for how society treats our kids. How we got more passion for feminism and matriarchy hurt me and all men are this and that. What about your son? The fuck is wrong with us? Niggas got more passion for LeBron James than the special education crisis going on with our children. Children getting shipped to special ed left and right because they won't sit down in a boring ass class that ain't even teaching them shit. You bring that up, black people are like, oh my, man, that ain't right. That ain't cool. Man, something need to be done about that. Hey, damn, I don't know. Damn, we shouldn't. Oh man, that's sad. But you turn around and call LeBron James a punk for that fake ass wrist injury at the end of the finals. Man, you just hating. You just hating on LeBron James. LeBron James is a good daddy. He raises kids. He good to his wife. He make layups. He eats spinach like Popeye. Niggas get hella niggas, man. Shit. Talk about LeBron James. If you want to see some emotion come from a black man, say something about Jay-Z that they don't like. These niggas gonna start doing cartwheels. Niggas start spinning like the Tasmanian devil if you say something bad about LeBron James. You see that passion flickering. Talk about our children being forced into special education, being forced into non-public schools, being criminalized and arrested as young as the age of 6, getting handcuffs put on them. Same nigga that just flipped the lid and brew. Some of you niggas, the same niggas who just blew they whole urethra. Yes, I said that. I used the right word. You blew your whole, these niggas, these grown ass men blowing a whole uterus over LeBron James slander. Talk about how these schools are criminalizing our children. You get 1/1000th of the energy and passion put behind their response. That is a problem. That is a problem. That's what I just gave today, the point of today's broadcast, today's show, whatever the fuck you want to call it. I don't give a damn. Is to point out what we can do in response, both physically, spiritually, mentally, and proactively. Those are the solutions. And there are more solutions too. That's just my point of view on the solutions that I offer as to how we can respond to this terrorism we're facing. For those of you who want the minute details, I look forward to listening to Professor Black Truth. Whenever he drops his video, he's going to teach me something I didn't know. I'm sure whenever Jason Black decides to approach this head on, he's going to point out an angle and a connection that I don't know. And I'm sure the same will happen when Tariq Nasheed does his video on this. I'm sure he's going to be, Tariq, I'm sure is going to draw some connections that's out there, but ain't none of us seen yet. So listen to everybody. I'm sure Vicky Dillard is going to have a dope-ass perspective. I'm sure Boyce Watkins is going to grit his teeth to this subject at some point and give a perspective. It's going to be a toothly perspective, but it's going to be a perspective. I don't want to hear anything about a stage. Salute to you, brother in the chat room, Josh. But now, I don't know if this was staged. We don't know that. We can revisit whether it was staged or not as time unveils itself through the years. In the meantime, real people lost real family and relatives. So whether it was staged or not, we can't do nothing about it. Whether the police are behind this, ain't nothing we could do about it. What we can do is control our narrative. So as we control the narrative, we can get other black people on code with the narrative. That's what we can do. We can get our defense mechanisms up. Pepper sprays and bear spray and if you're allowed to carry in your state those kind of sprays. If you're not, I'm sure you'll find a way to be creative. Just don't tell me because I don't want to know. I'm telling you right now, one of you niggas go emailing me some bullshit ass manifesto, I'm marking that shit as spam. Guarantee you. Don't hit my inbox with that bullshit. You gonna do something, you just do it. Don't be doing me like they did that brother that did that shooting in Dallas. That motherfucker emailed like Zoe Williams and Tariq and Boyce, and I remember Zoe talking about the police showing up on his doorsteps because dude, if you that kind of nigga, don't tell me shit. I don't want to know. I don't care. You send me some bullshit, spam. I did not ask for this. I don't want it. So I'm not going to buy in. I'm not going to play into any narratives of whether or not this thing was staged, because at the end of the day, if it was, I can't do shit about it. Only thing I'm gonna do is what I can do. But what I can do is, when I see young black people, I can empower them. What I can do is stay on code with my narrative, because we are in a narrative war. Narrative and propaganda is the first, that's the front line of any war, the propaganda. I can control my propaganda and those around me. Those people with their off-code propagandist, what the fuck word can I use? Propagandistic point of views? I don't know. Try to keep my words to a level that a kindergartner can understand. That's what you do. You don't speak above the people, you speak to the people. That's the responsibility of all of us that are messengers. Don't speak above them, speak to them. So whether it be propagandistic or propagandized points of views, my point of view is going to empower my people. That's what I can control. Because the difference between where black people are now and complete freedom is a thought. It's a mindset. It's ideology. Dr. John Henry Clark said that. It all starts with a thought. It all starts with a mindset. When we know we free, we behave that way. And when you behave that way, I don't give a fuck how many guns they got. They can't stop it, nigga. They can't stop it. When we fight, we win. Our biggest issues is we don't fight. Not enough, not consistently. We fight to get them up off our backs, then we go back to relaxing. But anytime, our biggest issue is we fight, but we don't sustain our fights. We do enough to get them up off our backs, and then we go back to having a good fucking time. We're gonna have a funky good time. That's the fuck we do. We fight, and then it goes right back to, we're gonna have a funky good time. Huh. Fred! That's our problem. We just do enough to get them up off us, then we go back to having a funky good time. But what I like from what we're doing these days is we're sustaining it. We just got to keep it up. We're on the right track. We're going in the right direction. I know I said I'll take some calls, but hey, change of plans. Got to celebrate my niece. But I will be doing Incense and Ashtrays tonight, breaking down Kendrick's new album. And then after that, I think I might do a late night Q&A. So it might be too late for you East Coast niggas, but maybe sometime like around like 11 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, I'll do like a live Q&A right back on the same channel for you people who do have questions and shit. So know that, black people, we have the power. Just like when you watch basketball and boxing and football or whatever sport that is you choose. Just like you hear us on the mic when it get to rapping and rhyming and singing. You ain't found a white singer yet that can do Shaka Khan. Many have tried, all have come short. When we focus on something and we got confidence in what we doing, and we go up against literally any other group, we win. Our issue is we be thinking that shit is just confined to the sports field. We be thinking that shit is just confined to the music studio. No, black people, that's in every area of our life. 100% of them hoes. We win. Can you dig it? So that's what we got to do. Can you imagine in 10 years, we growing up, the kids that are 8, 9 years old now, 6 years old, they grow up in an environment where the black people, the adults, our narrative is in check. And they grow up in that kind of environment where they're educated about knowledge of self and the power within. And if you so choose to use the Bible and Christianity as your religion, nothing wrong with that. If you so choose it, you use it to extract out of that Bible the power and the messages that the Bible is telling you is within you. Can you imagine where we'll be in 10 years and 15 years? Look at how far we've gone from 2012 till now. Back in 2012, nigga, bullshit rap was the conversation of the day. Reality shows, sports, that was it. We weren't talking like this in mass in 2012. So imagine 10 more years of this, 15 more years of this, and a whole crop of youngsters coming up that's 10, 11 years old now. Them niggas gonna be 20, 25, 30 in 10, 15 years. Imagine the world that they're gonna have if we create that world starting now. Can't nobody stop us. Nobody. And remember this, we will be doing our live music tonight. And we will be having a funky good time, you dig? Get your t-shirts at hotepish.com/shop. I didn't even play my the goddamn my t-shirts. I didn't even show y'all my t-shirts. Yeah. Here it is. My hoodies. Y'all go ahead and get your t-shirt now. Celebrating the mothers of the movement, the rebels with a cause, Dr. John Henry Clark. Oh, is that Jayla? Oh, shit. Yeah. We here. Remember this, black people. There are no perfect messengers. Only perfect messages for those who are willing to pick up the game. My name is Dwan. I'm out.